Students, it is the fifth video for the week 3 and we are covering taking notes. Fine. In the previous video we focused on the reading strategies, but now this activity is listening strategy, listening and taking notes, listening to live lectures or discussions and taking the notes. Fine. So there are two phases of lecture taking in the modern world. One is before the class and during the class, and final is after the class. Fine. Three phases of lecture. What are they? Before the lecture or discussion or class, during the class, and after the class. Right? We simply read these concepts. Before the class, read or survey the material that will be covered in the upcoming lectures. Usually teachers provide the books and reading material in advance so that the students may find time and study at home. So this is the first point. Second, read over your notes from the previous class. That the previous lecture you have taken, read the notes and trace the connectivity, that how this chapter is connected to the others. Do you have already some points discussed, or you are just going to jump onto the entirely new content? Look at the course outline to see where you have been, where you are going, and how it all fits together. There must be an outline that when you time to time you are reading, for example, you are reading the previous lectures or information, and you covered that content in 2 days in 5 sittings. In each sitting how much you have covered, so you must identify it from the outline. It will be a signal for you that okay, you have discussed or studied this much. Meet with your instructor TA to clarify concepts from the last lecture. If ambiguity exists, you must clear those ambiguities. Get the notes from any class session you have missed. That the class sessions, if unfortunately been missed, take the notes. This is preparation for the class before you enter into the discussion. Now during the class, the lecture has started. Date and title each set of notes and keep notes from the different classes separate. That you must put the date and title of your subject matter, number one. Number two, in a day if you have 4 or 5 consecutive lectures, then note down the lectures of each course separately. Sit where you can hear and see clearly without distraction. Do not crowd your notes. Leave blanks to fill in missed items and expand your notes later on. Do not overcrowd your notes. If you have missed some concept, leave the space clear and jump onto the other concept and keep pace with the teacher. Later on, when you find time, take the notebook of the other student or your fellow and write down those notes. Ask your instructor, TA or classmate to help you fill in the gaps if you think you missed 1 or 2 important points. The point is clear. Stay involved in the class and ask questions. Volunteer for demonstrations. Join in class discussions. They are very important things, that whether some person has substantial information but try to be the part of the class. It's a good one. When the students ask questions, teacher become ready. Take too many notes rather than not enough. You can always omit unnecessary information later. Whatever you can note down, you should note it down, because omitting and information is easier rather than gaining information when the lecture is over. Think to yourself, why is this important? I mean, you just raise a self-assessment. Focus on what point the professor is on rather than scrambling to write down the whole overhead without listening to what the professor is saying. Well, this is really necessary that some students thinks that taking notes is more important than the discussion of professor when it comes parallel. Remember, discussion of the professor, the teacher is more important than taking your ordinary notes because that person is an expert. Maybe in the very next point, he will clear your previous point where you are facing or where you have been stuck to. So do not stuck, remain active and keep pace with the teacher. Write down notes in your own words when possible and think about what the professor is saying. However, definition of the technical terms should be recorded exactly as given. Means try to put the notes in your own words, but wherever this formulas and tag and exact terms are given, so note down those things and do not mix your own interpretation. Fine. Use abbreviations and symbols to save time. Make sure you understand your abbreviations. Fine. Everybody has its own style of abbreviations, so you can use that. Take notes in different colors to highlight important points. You must have different colors, colored pencil to highlight the important points. Use underlining or symbol such as asterisk or star to identify the point your instructor emphasizes. Important points should be underlined. Keep alert for and highlight points your instructor emphasizes by means of the verbal cues. Watch for the list such as the following 5 steps or 4 major causes. I mean, there are certain cues. The teacher actually may refers to some concept which he has had previously discussed 20 minutes ago, and once again that question has got back or referred. Thereby, these are called verbal cues. Fine. Add examples your professor provides in order to clarify abstract ideas and to jog your memory when studying later. Clear? Add examples. The examples shared by your teacher actually are not simply examples, they are an event. They are a recorded event that has happened to you. So it survives longer time in your memory whenever the very word, the concept, gesture, emotion, retort, comment will come into your mind. The entire discussion will be refreshed because your mind has assessed and recorded it. Make eye contact with the lecturer. Do not be a clock watcher. Instructors do not always pace themselves accurately and may cram half of the lecture into the last 15 minutes. Okay, it's up to the strategies of the lecturers that some are wordy, some remain distracted, but when they last, they keep the face. So, a lecture can be serious at any moment. Fine. Learn as much as you can in the class because this will better help you understand and complete outside assignments. Mean, do not solve the assignments which are not going on. Fine. So be the part of class. For example, if your instructor pauses during lecture, use the time to review the notes you have taken so far. Many of your teacher has taken some pauses or have given you some rest time. In this time you can review your notes that what have been noted and how much have been missed. If use tape recorder only to clarify lecture points, use the counter. Meet a conscientious and success oriented student in the class at the beginning of every semester and share notes. This is a very important point that you can use the recorder if the very organization and the teacher allows you so. Secondly, always be friended with the bright students, and whatever you record and they record should be shared so that yourself should be collated with latest information. And these are the points to be noted after the class. Review notes within 24 hours of the class, or else you are relearning. Mean within 24 hours you should review, otherwise your memory will be washed. Should you recopy your notes? If you think that you need to recopy your notes, then do it. Use margin space to fill in the abbreviations. Fine. Add omitted points, correct errors, and write keywords. Clear? Wherever you have left the positions. As you read your notes, underline, highlight, and mark the main points or important points you will want to give special attention when you are going to reveal it again. Elaborate your notes. Connect the concept to see the meanings in the larger picture. Practice reciting information using only keywords. Talk with the other students about the lectures. Conduct short weekly reviews about the discussions. Fine. And find a reason to listen to find the speaker. Listen for more than facts and opinions. So it is all about the discussion made to listening and lecture and taking notes. Hope you have understood. Thank you very much.